Resa Resa.
For centuries of history that recorded the great men and legendary characters who shaped time through their vision and exemplary actions, Chanakya, perhaps, is the only personality who has been accepted and revered as a genius both by Indian and Western scholars. He is a historical milestone in the making of India amidst tremendous upheavals and myriads of reversals. Celebrated as a shrewd statesman and a ruthless administrator, he comes across as the greatest of diplomats of the world. He had the guts to speak his heart out even in front of rulers, which shows his strong inclination to democratic values and the audacity to put his views through. Although he lived around the 3rd century BCE, his ideas and principles show concurrence and validity in the present-day world. Politics was his forte. Diplomacy in a politically charged environment shows his self-confidence and the ability to stay calm in trying situations. His foresight and wide knowledge, coupled with politics of expediency, founded the mighty Mauryan Empire in India. He was a great laureate of economics, the glittering intellect to perceive the intricate dynamics of the various economic activities and principles. The centuries that succeeded him show distinct effects of his thought on the way a kingdom is managed and other facets of economic administration. Even today, one of his maxims on taxation is very much alive and calls for adherence by governments of the world. According to Chanakya, taxation should not be a painful process for the people. There should be leniency and caution while deciding the tax structure. Ideally, governments should collect taxes like a honeybee, which sucks just the right amount of honey from the flower so that both can survive. Taxes should be collected in small and not in large proportions. Chanakya, apart from being a man of wisdom and unfailing strategies, propounded Nitishastra, the ideal way of living for every individual of the society. He looked at the country like a person surrounded by problems. He worked at the total annihilation of problems by the roots. The reappearance of troubles only shows its growth. His contribution to foreign policy in the present-day world is immense. Universities teach his principles to aspiring foreign policy experts, showing the infallibility of his principles. Chanakya's art of diplomacy is well known across India and practiced in the areas of defense, strategy, formation, and foreign relations. Quite remarkably, long before Clausewitz came up with the quote which said, "War is only the continuance of state policy by other means," Chanakya had already written it in his book, Chanakyaneethi. Most of his views were so far-sighted that they appeared to be prophecies. Taking on diverse subjects such as corruption, he commented very rightly, "It's just as difficult to detect an official's dishonesty as it is to discover how much water is drunk by the swimming fish." As a person, Chanakya has been described variously as a saint, as a ruthless administrator, as the kingmaker, a devoted nationalist, a selfless ascetic, and a person devoid of all morals. He created controversy by saying, "The ends justify the means," and the ruler should use any means to attain his goals, and his actions required no moral sanctions. All his written works, namely Arthashastra, Nitishastra, and Chanakyaneethi, were unique because of their rational approach and an unabashed advocacy of realpolitik. His views were dimensionally novel. He recommended even espionage and the liberal use of provocative agents as machineries of the state. In politics, he even attested the use of false accusations and killings by a king's secret agent without any ambiguities. The observance of morals and ethics was secondary to the interests of the ruler. Some of his stark views made him into an ambivalent personality for the world.
Menon.
सनं सुदास्तु सुधियकान्ता प्रियालापिणी इच्छापूर्तिधनं स्वयोषिति प्रति स्वाज्ञापरा सेवका आदित्यं शिवपूजनं प्रतिदिनं मिष्टान्नपानं गृहे साधो सङ्गमुपासदे च सततं धन्यो गृहस्थाश्रम आर्तेषु विप्रेषु दयान्वितश्च यच्छ्रद्धया स्वल्पमुपैति राजन् अनन्तपारं समुपैति दानं यद्दीयते तन्लभेद्विजेभ्यः दाक्षिण्यं स्वजने दयापरजने शाठ्यं सदा दुर्जने प्रीति साधुजने स्मय खलजने विद्वजने चार्जवम् शौर्यं शत्रुजने क्षमा गुरुजने नारीजने दृष्टता इत्थं ये पुरुषा कलासु कुशलास्त्वेषेव लोकस्थितिः हस्तौ दानविवर्जितौ श्रुतिपुटौ सारस्वतद्रोहिणौ नेत्रे साधुविलोकनेन रहिते पादं न तीर्थं गतौ अन्यायार्जित वित्तपूर्णमुदरं गर्वेण तुङ्गं शिरो रे जम्बुकमुञ्ज मुञ्ज सहसा नीचं सुनिन्द्यं वपु येषां श्रीमद्यशोदासुतपदकमले नास्ति भक्तिर्नराणां येषामभीरकन्या प्रियगुणकथनेनानुरक्ता रसज्ञा येषां श्रीकृष्णलीला ललित रसकथा सादरौ नैव कर्णो धिक्तान् दिगैतान् कथयति सततं कीर्तरस्तो मृदङ्ग
प्रणम्य शिरसा विष्णु त्रैलोक्याधिपतिं प्रभुम्.
He is a blessed Grahastha, or householder, in whose house there is a blissful atmosphere, whose sons are talented, whose wife speaks sweetly, whose wealth is enough to satisfy his desires, who finds pleasure in the company of his wife, whose servants are obedient, in whose house hospitality is shown, the auspicious Supreme Lord is worshipped daily, delicious food and drink is partaken, and who finds joy in the company of devotees. One who devotedly gives a little to a Brahmin who is in distress is recompensed abundantly. Hence, O Prince, what is given to a good Brahmin is got back, not in an equal quantity, but in an infinitely higher degree. Those men who are happy in this world, who are generous towards their relatives, kind to strangers, indifferent to the wicked, loving to the good, shrewd in their dealings with the base, frank with the learned, courageous with enemies, humble with elders, and stern with the wife. O jackal, leave aside the body of that man at once, whose hands have never given in charity, whose ears have not heard the voice of learning, whose eyes have not beheld a pure devotee of the Lord, whose feet have never traversed to holy places, whose belly is filled with things obtained by crooked practices, and whose head is held high in vanity. Do not eat it, O jackal, otherwise you will become polluted. Shame upon those who have no devotion to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, who have no attachment for the descriptions of the glories of Srimati Radharani, whose ears are not eager to listen to the stories of the Lord's Leela. Such is the exclamation of the mridanga sound of diktam diktam digitam at kirtan.
Resa 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 Resa